Good morning. I'm just checking where you're from, who you are. Good job. Some of you are not early morning people, so I want to say good job getting up and you're here for the morning yoga class. That's terrific. I just know a few of you have declared that historically. So last night we were doing a yoga teacher training info session and one of the students said also she was not a morning yoga student. She couldn't practice yoga in the morning. I said, well, in the course of our teacher training weekends, over the course of the 200-hour teacher training, many people actually have converted to becoming morning yoga practitioners. Partly because it's so effective to have your day start with your yoga. And pardon me, I'm waiting for a haircut, so I got to get that out of the way. But the other reason to practice in the morning is that you don't miss it. You don't end up postponing it for the rest of the day. So you're doing a great job being here. Thank you. So let's settle in to get started. We are going to practice pranayama again, and I know some of you it's new for you to be using the exhale suspension, so we'll move through that process. It is intended to help you with the Agni, the digestive fire that Pitta is most responsible for relative to Kapha and Vata. Exhale suspension is also to help us quiet the mind. So the mind of Pitta can remember that it's not the doer. I'm quoting the Bhagavad Gita when I say that we are not the doer. Yesterday afternoon's restorative class, we were focusing on that as well. So that'll be posted to YouTube sometime today if you want to see it. So let's please begin. You can take a comfortable seat and you can rest your hands in your lap. Let your eyes close. And if your eyes tend to be particularly intense, one of the characteristics of Pitta, or if you tend to be using your eyes intensively during the day, when you close your eyes right now to start our practice, just imagine your eyelids draping down and having a very quiet, soothing relationship with your eyes. Soften the place between your eyebrows. And though I do want you to be focused and present, try to relax the part of concentration that is filled with effort or urgency. When you imagine the space between the eyebrows softening, but you remain focused, your eyelids draping down, but the eyes not feeling intense, then move to the space right behind your eyes and invite that part of your brain to relax and to remember. The phrase is, you are not the doer. And this is an enormous concept in yoga. So for this morning, I can just give you a hint of that, a little appetizer size of that you are not doing all of this on your own. You're not regenerating your skin cells. That's happening from your body intelligence. You didn't have to wake up this morning and remind your eyes how to see. They're already set up to function that way. You aren't growing your own hair, it's growing itself. In practice of pranayama, we are breathing, but we are also being breathed. Just as we watch in the garden, the vegetables are being grown by the soil, the water, and the sunshine, and by their instinct, the sweet peas become sweet peas, the butternut squash becomes butternut squash. In the same way, we have an indwelling potential and an expression, and life is nourishing us, the equivalence of soil, water, and sunshine. It's like community, the Sangha, the teachings, the encouragement. With that, let your attention then move from the space just behind your eyes down into the process of breathing. And notice to what extent you can relax the low belly and receive the inhale. And putting aside all other ideas, the to-do list, the fears and apprehensions, putting aside all of the quarrels or the negotiations with life, with yourself, with others. Let's just simply notice that there's a breath breathing you. And bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. May our practice help us to remember that which is breathing us, that which is animating us, that consciousness which comes through us, and the vitality, the life force that is sustaining things like fingernails and eyelashes, circulation, respiration. So we'll chant Asatoma Satgamaya. Let's begin. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. And with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. And release your hands. Please open your eyes. Okay, so for just a few moments now, we're going to practice pranayama. And I only asked for the eyes to be open so you can see, in case you haven't yet been in class this week or last week. When we do the pranayamas that are familiar, we are then going to add Sitali. And in Sitali, you put the tongue to inhale as if you had a long straw. And not everyone's tongue has that capacity. So for some of you, you place the tip of the tongue behind the top two teeth, but you still inhale through the mouth. And it causes a cooling effect, also a dehydrating effect. So sometimes you need a little sip of water in the practice. I'm actually sipping my Pitta balancing tea with the lemon juice, honey, and coconut oil. So what we'll do is the pranayama that you've been practicing with me up through like May, June, and then into this part of July, and then we're going to add the Sitali and see what that feels like. So you may close your eyes again and bring your attention down to the diaphragm. We're going to begin with Bhastrika. It's a rapid, forceful exhale out the mouth as if blowing out a candle several times, rhythmically. I'll set the rhythm, and then you can try to follow my pace so you don't speed up inadvertently. Now inhale through both nostrils. Fill up the breath up into the heart and the collarbones. Hold your inhalation, please. Exhale both nostrils. Exhale to the end. Tone the low belly as you exhale, exhale, exhale. Then release the belly, let the next inhale blossom into your body. Now again, and following this Bhastrika, we're going to use Nadi Shodhana for the inhale suspension. Let's begin. Exhale completely, then inhale lower, middle, upper parts of the breath. Hold the inhale at the top. Lift your heart and use all three bandhas during inhale suspension. Then exhale through both nostrils to start this Nadi Shodhana. And close your right nostril, inhale left side only. Suspend. Close the left nostril, exhale right side. Inhale right side. Suspend. You can release the right arm down. Close the right, exhale left side. Exhale long and smooth. At the completion of the exhale, the low belly should feel very toned, and then you're going to release that tone and let the next inhale blossom into your body, relaxing completely. Asatoma Sadgamaya. Relax completely. Now we will repeat in a very similar way, but Kapalabhati, exhaling through the nose. Let's begin. Exhale completely. Exhale through both nostrils. Inhale through both nostrils. We're going to suspend the inhale at the top. Use all 3 bandhas. Now exhale through both nostrils and prepare for Nadi Shodhana. The length of the inhale will be determining the length of your inhale suspension. Let's begin with inhale left. Suspend equal to your inhale length. Exhale through the right side of your nose, equal to the length of inhale and inhale suspension. So all 3 parts there are equal to each other. Briefly pause at the end of the exhale and then inhale right nostril. Suspending. Close the right and exhale left side equal to your inhale and inhale suspension. Release your right hand and observe your body being breathed. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Now we'll do Sitali, so you'll inhale through the mouth using the tongue like a straw, and we'll raise the chin up through the duration of the inhale, and we'll come down with the Ujjayi exhale into Jalandhara Bandha. Your inhale might feel longer than your exhale in this practice, that's okay. When you go to the top of the inhale, briefly pause there. And then when you're bringing the head down, notice that the tongue, having been cooled by Sitali, will become its normal temperature again. Let's begin. Five times all together, please. When you complete your 5th round, then pause with a gentle Jalandhara Bandha. And in resting into yourself, as you arrive there, reflect again on that which is breathing you. Mrityorama amritam gamaya. Now we'll take this inner atmosphere that we've been trying to create and we'll move it into physical asana. And please come up to standing. I'm just getting my video set for you guys. Come up to standing, please, at the front of your mat for Surya Namaskar. And I would request that you use 2 blocks this morning because we're going to be also visiting with Anjane Asana. Let me get my camera straightened out. So the 2 blocks can go near to the front of your mat, where you would be using them to make your Uttanasana deeper. They'll also be there for your Anjane Asana. Please join your hands together at your heart. But without departing the internal experience you just cultivated, we'll use the Ujjayi inhale. Inhale equal to exhale, little pause at the top, little pause at the bottom. Let's begin. Inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide your heart forward. Exhale, deeply bow towards your legs. Notice the tone of the low belly to support the exhale towards its completion. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Open your throat and look up at the top of the inhale. And then Anjali Mudra. Asatoma Satgamaya. Inhale, both arms up. Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Left toes back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, descend, giving a sense of the inner atmosphere that your breathing practice created. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. Exhale, deep bow towards your legs. Inhale, glide forward, rise up to your fingertips, open your chest, your heart, and your throat. Exhale, right toes back. Complete the exhale, and as you press down into your fingers, tone the low belly. Inhale to glide up. Exhale to descend. We'll be moving into downward dog pose. So as you touch the blocks, let's use them and step backwards. Inhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now exhale forward to plank pose. This morning we're going to inhale to cat pose. So parachute your back body up as you lower your knees down. There's your inhale. And then exhale, cow pose. Bring your heart forward. Let's inhale to cat. And on the next cow pose, you're going to use lion's breath. Inhale to cat. Lion's breath. Inhale, cat. One more time for the lion's breath. Now inhale to cat pose, and we're going to use the exhale for cow pose. Exhale through the nose. And then inhale, roll your hips forward to seal pose. That's right, and exhale, slide your shoulders back and come forward to cobra. It's not just that it's down, it's also forward. Good, and then we're going to inhale, roll up to seal pose, including lifting your chin. Beautiful. Okay, exhale, plank pose. Use the low belly. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. As you rise back, lengthen your spine. Exhale, right foot forward. Come to your fingertips. Inhale to rise, crescent lunge. Yes, very nice. Okay, exhale, arms wide, slow and down. Inhale, backwards, downward facing dog. Left foot forward. Inhale to glide up. You may also open your throat and look up. Ujjayi, exhale as you come forward and down. You're doing beautifully, thank you. Inhale, float your right foot forward, heart forward. And exhale for a deep bow to your legs. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. You can look up. Hands to your heart. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Continuing, inhale. This time we'll be using Anjane Asana, so let's exhale, bow forward, keeping the blocks on the medium setting for the moment. Press firmly into the blocks to complete your exhale. Inhale, glide your heart forward, keeping the inner atmosphere of your pranayama. Now exhale, take your left toes way back, touch your left knee down and make the blocks tall. Inhale to your cat pose spine. Exhale, tone the low belly so you can sense the inward lift, inward and upward. And then inhale, so Anjane Asana blossoms from the strength of your inner body. You may gaze up. Exhale, open your chest, your heart, and your throat. Inhale, sweep your arms up like you're gathering in the larger community. And exhale, hands to your heart, touching the two blocks. Place them medium, and inhale, step forward, heart forward. Exhale, Uttanasana. Press firmly into the blocks to support the end of the exhale, having good and deep abdominal tone. Inhale, glide forward, rise up to your fingertips. When you exhale, step your right toes back, right knee down, and the blocks go on the tall setting. And then press into your cat pose spine with your inhale. So you can really sense your right hip flexors. Complete your exhale, and then inhale to blossom up. When you exhale, open your chest, your heart, and your throat. Inhale, rise up like gathering in the larger world. And as you exhale, bring that world into your heart. It is our duty and our dharma. Let's make the blocks medium. Inhale backwards, downward dog pose. Exhale forward, plank pose. This time we're going to inhale to seal pose directly. So glide your hips forward, touch your knees down, point your toes. Exhale the heart forward, cobra. Forward, forward. Yes, beautiful. Good. And then inhale, rise up to seal pose. Press down, and as you go up, lift your chin to the extent that you can. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. You guys are doing a beautiful job. Thank you. When you next exhale, step your right foot forward. Touch your left knee down. Make the blocks tall. Inhale your cat pose spine. So the back of the body is like a parachute. Complete the exhale. And then inhale to fountain upwards. It's like a fern unfolding in the forest. Exhale to open. And then inhale to gather in the larger pulse of life, your community, the ecology. Exhale, bring that down to your heart. It is our duty to participate. Inhale, step backwards, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down, blocks tall. Press into your cat pose spine. And inhale, glide up. And exhale to open. Inhale, rise up, gathering, gathering, and bring that into your heart. Touch the blocks down to medium, and then inhale, step forward, heart forward. And deeply bow towards your legs. Complete the exhale with the tone from your pelvic floor, inward and upward to the sacrum. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. And then to the heart. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Now we're going to include Anjane Asana, Parsvottanasana, Trikonasana. So inhale, Urdhva Hastasana means upward, Urdhva is upward, Hasta is hands. Exhale, Uttanasana. The word Uttana means intense stretching on the back side of the body, the west side. Inhale, glide your heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana, half Uttanasana. Exhale, left toes back, left knee down, the blocks tall. Inhale your cat pose spine. Exhale, stay inward, pelvic floor, deep low belly, up towards the solar plexus. And inhale, rise up, uncurling like a fern in the forest. Exhale to open. Inhale to rise. Now exhale, bringing that down into your heart. Tip the blocks to the medium setting. And as you have the left toes behind you, inhale, straighten both legs. Glide your sitting bones back and your heart forward like cow pose. And then exhale like cat pose and bow over your right leg. Again, inhale, glide forward. Even rise up to your fingertips, lengthen your spine, open your throat. And exhale for a deep bow over your right leg. Press firmly into the blocks to support the low belly. Inhale, glide forward one more time. We're going to stay forward and up with the spine. Walk the block for your right hand up to the tall setting under your right shoulder. Keep the other block where it is, so it's asymmetrical. Pivot your left heel to the floor. The whole pose is asymmetrical. Now press into your cat pose spine with both your right palm on your block and your left fingertips on your block.
And then when you next inhale, press down firmly through your left heel, right arm, and open to triangle pose. And I'm going to ask you to improvise, to intuit, to let your body be your guide from the inside. So long as your foundation, that is your left foot, left outer hip, right foot, right leg, right arm, all the foundation should be stable. So you get to improvise in relationship with your body. Sense what's needed. Sometimes you'll get like a little piece of information you didn't even know it was there. A place in the inner body that lights up, or a spot on the myofascial system that's surprisingly tight or is asking for your attention. You can feel through this for a few breath cycles more. It's your practice. Your body is reflecting to you the news of the day, the events of your yesterday, not just the physical events, but the relational and psychological events too. When you next feel inclined to, you're going to start your descent back down. So the right arm can be steady and strong. The pose is asymmetrical. And bring your left fingertips slowly back down to that block without really giving up on your left hip. So the left hip stays back in triangle pose. You might be feeling the left lower quadrant of your back. Now pivot your left heel up. Bend your right knee, tip the block down to medium so it's easier to work with. And let's step backwards. Downward facing dog pose. And then exhale, left foot forward between your hands. Okay, make the blocks tall, touch your right knee down. Inhale to your cat pose spine. And find your cow pose just inside, get ready for that. But the cat pose has to be strong in the deep low belly. And then when you inhale, cow pose is going to be in your heart, collarbones. Lift your gaze, open your throat. Exhale, open the arms wide. Inhale, reach up and gather in. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And as you touch the two blocks, tip them to medium, and inhale, glide your hips back, lengthen your spine, open your throat. And exhale to bow deeply towards your legs. Inhale, glide forward, rise up on your fingertips, open your throat. Yes, beautiful, good. And exhale. So each leg straight and strong. The back heel's not yet on the floor, so your pose requires a little bit of attention for your balance. One more time, glide forward. And then keeping yourself upright here, tip the left block to the tall setting and pivot your right heel down so it lines up with your left heel. And as you press into both blocks, try to make sense of cat pose here. So press into your right outer heel, tone your right outer hip, press into your left arm palm flat, right arm fingertips, and sweep the low belly into cat pose. And then when you're ready to, you're going to explore. This is your invitation, your journey. Listen to what your body is going to be asking from you in relationship with you. And be willing to be sort of surprised or updated or notified from within your body. Asatoma sadkamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam And as you find your way, let's use the next couple breath cycles to come down, keeping your right hip in triangle pose. Reach with your right arm towards the block. This is going to require you to open the right lower back, right lower quadrant, right side waist. Keep your right heel anchored. And then pivot your right heel up. Put the block on the medium setting on the left hand, and let's step backwards to downward dog. Then exhale forward to plank. Inhale, step through to seal pose. In the first seal pose, we'll gaze forward. Because we're going to exhale, glide down to cobra. Gaze forward. Shoulders back. And then inhale, roll up to seal pose and lift your chin. And then exhale, upward facing dog pose. And exhale, plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. And exhale, right foot forward, left foot forward, Uttanasana. Complete your exhale. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. You may gaze up. Beautiful, nice. And then to the heart. Coming down to Anjane Mudra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Om. Please step into your horse stance. I'm going to take the wide side of my mat. You can do as you like. When you step into jazz stance, a little wider. Turn your toes out and come down. We're going to start exploring what is the exhale suspension. I answered some questions the other day, and I know we have to be in process learning this. So you can glide if you want to, as I'm doing. It's up to you. I'm going to talk for a few moments. The exhale suspension that we'll start with, we'll exhale completely, and then at the end of an exhale, what we'll be doing is not inhaling, but also relaxing the muscles in the deep low belly that supported the exhale. So let's try just that stage first. If you come to your jazz stance position, and I'd like you to press down into your knees with straight arms. So the torso is not holding itself up. Your legs should feel stable, the arms stable, and your torso is actually relaxing in between your hips and your shoulders. Let's inhale from the base of the pelvis upwards to your heart and collarbones, please. You get a full inhalation, and then start your exhale from the pubic bone to your perineum, to your sacrum, up the front line of your spine. And as you exhale completely, you're toning the belly to do that. At the end of that tone, without inhaling, simply relax the belly muscles that made the exhale. There'll be a natural suctioning that happens in the inner body. Then you have to tone the belly before the next inhale, otherwise you'll feel like you're gasping for the air. At your own rhythm, please try that one more time, beginning with a full inhalation. This is at your pace, not at mine. And then press down into both heels, straighten your legs, rise up and bring your stance in, a heel toe to horse stance, which we'll do in just a moment. Now we're going to actually add the exhale suspension. So I want to explain, because there were some good questions after the last class.
You're going to be exhaling and you tone the belly muscles. So this whole region is acting like when you close the harmonium. Then momentarily you deeply relax the belly muscles. A natural suction begins. And then you're going to add to that suction by pretending to inhale without any air coming in. Because the inhale mechanism is going to stimulate your diaphragm to whisk in and up, like you're going into an internal cave. Like you think of the ancient yogis in the mountains, in the forests, and having a cave where they were practicing. You're going into your internal cave. So let's try it, please. Come down. Again, straight arms. So your torso is relaxing between your shoulders and your hips. And yes, your shoulders might be shrugging towards your ears. Gaze down and start with one full inhale. Include the back of your body as you inhale, a little bit like cat pose. And then as you exhale, start the exhale from your pubic bone, draw in towards your perineum. Exhale up the front line of your sacrum and your lumbar spine. As you exhale completely, then you're going to relax the belly muscles. Notice the suction. Without inhaling, make a pretend inhale. You're increasing the suction in the inner body. Then you have to tone the belly muscles to release that so your inhale is not feeling like gasping. And stay in your horse stance, recalibrate, and when you're ready to do so, try that sequence twice more in your own timing. Know that when you're practicing and learning something like this, it may require repetition and process, and then there'll be a discovery moment where you get it. Oh, there's this suction. And then as you finish the next effort on that, come down to a ragdoll forward bend. You can keep the knees bent in horse stance. It's okay if the toes are slightly out. The knees can line up with your toes, and just completely relax your torso on the strength and foundation of your legs. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Please shift your hands to your hips. Rise up to standing. And I'd like you to have 2 blankets. We're going to come down to the floor. The 2 blankets can be folded long, like I did mine over here on the side. So keeping your blocks within reach. So this blanket fold, for those who didn't see the cooking show, which is a joke, because they have the vegetables already cut. If you didn't see it, it goes from the storage fold open once, and then you go length to length twice for both of your blankets. And then one of these you're going to need to have stacked on the other, and I would say that the end where the fringes are is less stable, so we're going to use the end where it's stacked like this. Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to be lying down on this in a specific way. Your upper back is going to be here at the top of the blankets. So what you do is you sit on the blankets and you have to make a guess. So when you first lie back, you are guessing where the blanket is going to go. And I happen to have guessed perfectly there, so that doesn't give you a chance to see what it looks like when you don't guess perfectly. So let me show you. I want the blanket to be, if you reach around, you can feel the largest cervical spine is C7, and then down one vertebrae, and the spot between T1 and T2. So let's say that I had laid down and I had my head tipping off the edge of the blanket right here. I would have to scoot backwards until I'm at that spot, and you can reach around and feel, okay, there's my 7th cervical vertebrae, there's my 1st, and then you're in the spot between the two. And then place your feet like you're doing bridge pose. Roll your shoulders down towards the floor. Lengthen the back of your neck, and take notice that what you have set up here is the structure of Jalandhar Bandha. So we're going to do Ujjayi breathing, and I'd like you to have the inhale go from the first third of the torso, so in the pelvic basin. Inhale into the mid third of the torso, and then inhale to the upper third of your torso. And you'll be exhaling from the base of the spine and the pelvis, from the pelvic floor, inward in the low abdomen. Let's try that a couple of times, please. So something you might notice, a couple things. When you are practicing and you have the fullness of the inhale, the heart is lifted, it's puffed up. And sometimes we think of it like a little parachute in there. During the exhale, you can keep the lift of the heart. So it's almost like the sternum is interested in the chin, and the chin is curious about the sternum. And the exhale begins from musculoskeletal support down low. Your exhale is not from pushing the chest down. Now I'm going to ask you to add to your practice here. So same thing, inhaling low third, middle third, upper third, watching the breath as it fills the container of the torso. Keeping the heart lifted, you'll exhale from the base. At the end of your exhale, you tone the belly as completely as possible. And then radically relax the belly without inhaling. And notice the possibility of a kind of hollowing or suctioning of the inner abdomen. Those who are just learning the Jalandhar Bandha and the Uddiyana Bandha, that is the suction in the belly, if you're just learning that, play with only the relaxation of the abdomen after your exhale. If you're more experienced, you can add to that suction by adding the pretend inhalation. And you always recalibrate between the chest and the abdomen before you inhale, so you're not gasping for the breath. You're now releasing that practice. Place your block so that they can go in a moment under your feet. However, you're going to be scooting backwards. So scoot back on your blankets until the blankets are behind the heart and your shoulders begin to come down towards the floor. And then place your feet on the blocks. And the arms can go to Cactus Pose. With your feet elevated here, because we've made a little deeper back bend in the upper back, I'd like you to have the feet up so that you can gently tone the low back down towards your blanket. And focus the back bend into your upper back. Rotate your nose as far as it comfortably goes to your right. You may feel a stretch on the left side of your neck. You may take the back of your right hand to put a little bit of weight onto your left temple. Roll your left shoulder down towards the floor. Release and roll your head to center. Take your nose as far as it comfortably goes down to your left. Feel the stretch on the right side of your neck. And you may take the back of your left wrist onto your right temple. Press your right shoulder down. And then roll back to center. And now scooch back on your blanket until you have your sacrum. And the top of the sacrum is at the edge of the same blanket. And your feet can stay on those two blocks. Notice that your thoracic spine will tend to come into flexion. So will your lumbar spine. There'll be a gentle sense of flexion for the spine here. And since your sacrum is supported by the blankets, you can now pick up your knees and let the knees drop in towards the chest, supported by gravity, since your hips are elevated. You may also aid the knees a little bit with your hands. And then you can release the feet back to your blocks. This is my recommendation now, that you press down into your feet, lift your hips, and squiggle your blankets out of the way using your foot dexterity. Pivot the blankets to go under your knees for your Shavasana. I know you guys have some foot dexterity there, so I feel you can do it. Come to rest. In the resting process, give yourself the full support of no distractions, in a way disallowing anything to come in that would intrude on you. Yeah. Let everything rest. Everything. You are not the doer. Life is living itself through you.
You are invited to participate, but you are not the ultimate doer. Let everything rest. The physical body, the breath body, your mind and your senses. Allow everything to rest. The medicine of your practice is happening on your behalf right now. There's nothing you need to do to earn that medicine. You don't have to make it happen. As you watch your body receiving the medicine of your practice, you start to sense your place in the larger world. You are held by nature, all of the elements. You have your own blooming and composting cycles, rising, dissolving. And ask of your own inner wisdom, what's most important today? What do you need to understand? To any one opportunity or dilemma in your life, how are you being encouraged to respond? You may lightly deepen your breathing. Gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. Please roll to one side on your way back to sitting. Join your hands together at your heart, and we can sing together. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Yvonne, were you practicing outdoors? Oh, so nice. Yeah. Nice to do when we can. Yeah. Thank you, Angie. Nice to see you. Several of you are outdoors to practice. Beautiful. You have bird song and you have breathing and all the elements you can feel. You are a part of everything and it is a part of you. How is your exhale suspension today? I'll come up where I can see you better. I have just a couple of minutes, so I want to find out